What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I'm not gonna make this video too long. So we're gonna talk about mirror magic and the different ways mirrors can be used. Using it to scry, using it in your spell work, using it for protection, as portals. So I'm gonna wait a little bit, see who else pop in, and then we're gonna jump right in. Hey, how you doing? Mapina? Okay, I see more people coming in. What's up, y'all? Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and dive right in. So mirror magic. One, I like mirrors. I know some people, feel funny about mirrors. Some people don't like mirrors just on a personal level, but I like mirrors, especially just as a kid, staring in mirrors. If it was multiple mirrors, it was just always something, you know, magical and just alluring about mirrors. And you see mirrors throughout pop culture all the time, like, the talking mirror and the mirror in Alice in Wonderland. So it's been hinted at, and then, in literature and all sorts of things, of just how powerful mirrors are. And so mirrors can hold energy. So depending on what you do in a mirror, it increases and amplifies over time. We dance in the mirror, we do all sorts of things in the mirror, and mirrors can hold a memory to them, and so they can have energy. You've probably heard of like haunted mirrors. I mean, there's a lot with mirrors. Spirits can get trapped in mirrors. So definitely, if you're somebody that goes antiquing, you want to cleanse your mirrors and just be selective about your mirrors. Really use your intuition when you're choosing mirrors that have been previously owned. But mirrors can just pick up on energy anyway. So if your intuition tells you, to stay away from a mirror, even if it's new, then stay away from it. But mirrors can be used for all sorts of things. Mirrors have been used to curse. An old kind of curse, like hundreds of years old, probably even older. Witches would send, messages to people, messages to their enemy, and the message would be written backwards. So they would have to read it in the mirror, and they'd be basically cursing themselves. Some cultures, is recommended to cover up mirrors after someone's passed away so the spirit won't be trapped in the mirror. I've talked about this before, about using mirrors to repel negative energy. You can bury mirrors on your property, burying them in the four corners of your property. You can hang mirrors over your windows and your door to protect your property and repel any negativity sent to you. If you break a mirror, we've heard the superstition that you'll get 7 years bad luck. I mean, I don't know how true that is. I've definitely broken mirrors. I've lived life, life happens to everybody. But to say that I had, an unreasonable amount of bad luck because I broke a mirror, I can't say whether I believe in that superstition or not. But what you could do if you do break a mirror, instead of, just throwing it away, you can actually, excuse me, put the bits of mirror in a jar and put that in your windows to protect. And that'll not only reflect negativity sent your way. But because it's broken in like the shards, because it's dangerous, that's that added level of protection, the symbolism of that. Like how you will put cactus in your windows or what have you, or outside of the window. I mean, it's practical for one thing, but it's also symbolic, protective. So that sort of thing. Mirrors can expand and amplify energy. So you can, place your spell on a mirror to amplify the energy, work your spell, burn your candles on top of a mirror, for that added energy. Now, depending on what type of spell you're doing, if you're doing a spell where it's, if you're doing any baneful magic on someone, or if you're doing a reversing spell, you want to avoid catching your reflection in the mirror. But mirrors are used to expand, and so you want to be careful what is reflected in the mirror. So if you have a lot of clutter, and this is something borrowed from, this is a philosophy borrowed from feng shui. You don't want to reflect clutter and different things in the mirror or bills, because it's going to be, more and more of it. You want to be strategic about what you allow to be reflected in the mirrors, in your home. And speaking of feng shui, they go into a whole thing as to where you would place mirrors and throughout your home, but I'm not going to get into any of that. So being mindful of what is reflected in the mirror to expand. So making sure it's a beautiful scene. Having mirrors outside, if you can place it in a good spot, definitely creates beautiful imagery. And so, like, expanding your space, expanding your property, if you're trying to, move to a bigger property, that's something you could do. Let's see, I got some notes here. Let me see. Yeah, mirrors being portals. So I'm sure I mentioned that before, how mirrors can be portals. Now, some mirrors, they're already portals. You may come across, again, older mirrors, or a mirror that somebody's previously owned, and it's not necessarily antique or anything like that, but it was used, in magic, or used as a portal or something, and it still is. So you would have to use your discernment with that. Excuse me. So mirrors can definitely be portals naturally, or you can make a mirror a portal yourself. Like if you work with certain spirits and you want to open a portal to their realm, I would definitely say be mindful though, because just because you work with certain spirits, so say for instance, you work with fairies or what have you, just because you work with some fairies doesn't mean all fairies, want to work with you or mesh well with your energy. And so you're going to be opening up that portal and that doorway to the entire realm, not just, the fairies that you deal with. So being mindful of that and putting precautions in place so you can make it harder for other things to come through. So, only the spirits that you're trying to deal with are allowed to come through, and doing that, with sigils and enchantments and incantations of different herbs, and, keeping certain things away, and, getting your ancestors involved in for protection, and just, being a filter in that way. So be careful with opening portals and keep that in mind. And also, before you go opening portals, study how to banish spirits and how to close portals and different things, and familiarize yourself with crossroads spirits and things of that nature that can close doors because they can also open them. So keeping that in mind. Mirrors can be used for meditation. Like I mentioned earlier, how when I was a kid, I used to like the mirrors. I didn't get into too much of the specifics, but the particular mirrors I'm talking about that like reflect themselves, the ones that are, in clothing stores. So I would just like to stare at them and just see all the different me's and stuff. And so, I mean, that is a meditation. I didn't know that at the time, but just, you know, staring into the mirror at yourself, and it could be for self-love, it could be for healing, it could be for, you know, getting in contact with your higher self or your ancestors. Um, just depends on what you're trying to do. And whatever's going to put you into that meditative mood, then do that. If you want to, you know, look in the mirror with the lights off, some people don't want to do that. If you, you know, want to add a candle, um, you can do that. But meditating in the mirror is a powerful tool. What else? Scrying. So yeah, using mirrors as a divination tool. Now, when you work with a mirror to scry, it doesn't necessarily have to be a mirror. It could just be glass, because typically when you create a scrying mirror or buy a scrying mirror, it's black. It's been painted black. Um, and so you would meditate in the mirror with a candle or without, you know, your preference or what have you, and you just staring at that mirror. Once setting attention what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Are you, you know, trying to get an answer for something specific? What is going on? You know, have your question, whatever it is, ready, and then sit down in front of the scrying mirror and meditate and focus on that mirror until it can start to get cloudy, fuzzy. You might see like rain. It's hard to describe, like static. That's a better way. That type of rain, like fuzziness. And then you may see colors, you may see shapes, images, and then pictures and visions and scenes can play out before you. And when you're interpreting it, it's like interpreting a dream. You end up getting some remote viewing action going, but it's typically symbolic what you're seeing. What else? So yeah, that's actually it for the notes, because I didn't want to go too much into detail, because I, you know, want to talk about this topic some more in future. But if y'all got any questions or comments about how y'all use mirrors in y'all magic, definitely put it in the comments below. Yeah, so if nobody has, you know, any comments, I know it's only one person watching right now. Thank you for staying to the end. But that's what I wanted to talk about with mirrors. They're definitely extremely powerful tools. The mirrors in your home, I would suggest, you know, just like you cleanse your home on a periodic basis, you should pay, you know, special attention to your mirrors. And you can always, because, you know, being someone who's, you know, into spiritual things and practicing magic and, you know, inviting different energies and spirits into your home, you know, you may want to anoint your mirrors with various protective oils or what have you, as just an extra step. Even just your regular mirrors, you know, because of the energy and what you have going on. Okay, yeah, now that's a good idea. Yeah, I've never thought about that, positioning them and seeing throughout. Yeah, that's smart. If you had kids, I know they'd be like, we can't catch a break. Yeah, but I definitely like mirrors. I like mirrors for decorating. I know some people, you know, don't like it because, I mean, it can be a lot. But long as you're, you know, keeping them clean and doing what you need to do, they're nice. And long as, you know, what they're reflecting is nice. I mean, it's just a nice accent to the home, just on a mundane level, but on a magical level too. For me, it makes a space feel mystical. And they vibrate high. They have a lot of energy, you know. So that is it, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in on this Occult Talk Tuesday. I will see y'all on the next one. Bye.